Shh. Winners talking.
Before we get into it, let's give a shout out to Hennessy, as always, and a shout out to tooloud.co.uk, the UK's #1 rolling papers, award-winning. Subscribe, get them delivered to your door monthly. Clean as smoke, unrefined, unbleached, all of that good stuff. Winners Talking podcast back in again.
Yo.
Big Doug,
Come on.
Pound Still the Hustler. Special guest today, the big man, champion of the world, IBF Flyweight champion of the world. Now, I'm going to say it from now, yeah? You man that don't know, the man them, listen. See my man? Big Sonny Edwards. He's boxing how the man them like to see boxing. He's got the movement, hands down, switch hitting, all of that kind of stuff. You know that slick shit where you don't want to get, you know the shit we love to see. You know, like that. So yeah, introducing Big Sonny Edwards in the building.
Come on.
IBF Flyweight champion of the world. Good to have you here, my bro.
Nah, thanks for having me down.
Come on, bro.
On a genuine, organic one. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm an avid watcher.
Yeah,
so it's just,
Come on.
it's appreciated to be down here, man.
Good to have you here. Still kind of called me out on the Instagram thing and that.
Trust me.
And said that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And said that, yeah. Cool.
Like, man won my title 7 weeks ago. Still no invite. Winners
Yeah,
talking
what?
and
I know.
You kind of called me out on that one still, like no invite, but it was just a timing thing. I was onto it. That was definitely coming, but no, good to have you here, my bro. And like I said, the man them, if you know about the man them that follow boxing, even if you're a casual, you're gonna feel the way Sonny boxes, like the movement, the slickness, and all of that stuff. I like Palms. You know about Sonny Palms, because I always say you don't know shit about boxing. So do you actually know about Sonny, or are you just saying it because he's here?
Sonny and Charlie, bro.
All right. Now I know man knows. I know man knows the thing.
See, it's Sonny and Charlie now. Before it used to be Charlie and Sonny for too long.
You said things have changed.
Switched up, feels apparently so. You know what I mean?
Things done changed, but yeah. Well, you come down straight from Sheffield today, yeah?
Yeah.
What was the
Down
drive
from
say?
Sheffield. Nah, it was alright. About 3:45. I'm up tomorrow filming with straight from here. I'm going up to Manchester filming with Lyndon Arthur.
Yeah, he's got his fight coming. Was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
rematching with Yard?
Nah, not yet.
Who's he fighting?
Some unbeaten kid, I think, maybe Italian or something.
Okay.
Because he had surgery after the Yard fight. Because he only had 1 hour for that fight. So
Is it? Big up Lyndon Arthur for that fight. He a lot of people didn't see that coming and underestimated him maybe, and I don't think he maybe got the props that he deserved for that fight.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because he mashed up work in that fight.
Master work still. Had man frustrated. Had man a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And Yard's already got all his rating. Yard's highly rated, highly favoured already. So we got to give props to Lyndon Arthur. That your guy, yeah?
yeah, good friend.
Yeah,
Good
big
friend,
him
like
up.
brother even. Like very close with.
Okay,
Very close.
yeah, big him up. We're supporting all the man. Them
Come
here,
on, man.
alright?
Out here.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid. So yeah, champ. Okay, so Sheffield. Where you from originally though?
Croydon, South London.
See what I'm trying to say? That's why
That's why it's like that. That's why it's like,
all
listen,
day long.
producing winners, mate.
That's what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say.
and champions.
I know
you what I'm
Sheffield are
saying?
going to want to claim you and all that
Yeah,
now, but
yeah,
originally it's
yeah.
from South.
Nah, yeah, man. Croydon, London boy at heart,
See what
definitely.
I'm trying to say.
Definitely.
How long? When did you leave there?
When I was 18, I went uni
Come
originally.
on, man's fully South, blood.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
you
no,
talking?
born and bred.
Yeah, so at 18, I was living up in South Croydon. And then I got into uni. Cause I had a good education. I had a very good education. Did all my A-levels and that. Did sports studies up in Sheffield. But I only went to uni because I went to a school, one of them grammar schools, so you pass an 11 plus to get into boys' school until sixth form.
Yeah.
Wallerton Boys it was. Wallerton County Grammar School. Good school.
Yeah.
One of the good, very, very top rated school. But everyone, probably everyone apart from about like 5% of them go to uni, do you know, one of them schools. So I went just because everyone else was doing it. And after my second year, something with amateurs, I'd had enough of amateur boxing.
And you was always boxing, like all through your schooling. You was,
Yeah, I started when I was
boxing.
9. Yeah, started when I was 9.
Who? Your brother boxed first,
Only by a matter of months, because I was too young to go to the gym.
right?
Do you get me? So
Okay, so all while everyone's in grammar school, like them man are playing rugby and shit, you're training to punch people.
I did everything, though, me.
You did it all.
Do you know what? I'm one of them, like, say if one of the guys now busted a penny up the wall, I'm involved. Do you know what I mean? I just want, I'm, you know, one of that, competitive.
Yeah.
It can be something stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, we're men in it. We're boys at heart. So madly competitive. I used to do everything from obviously the football, rugby. I was at rugby school.
Come on.
But I used to do cricket, cross country, athletics, and
Masculine shit.
anything
Yeah,
I could do.
yeah.
Not just competing though.
Yeah, real
Anything.
shit.
I just
Real
wanted
shit.
to compete. And for me, if I went and played a rugby match or went and done cross country, well, especially the first couple of years, I didn't really do cross country for the thing, but that was a missed session I didn't have to do. So that was like that replaced my session. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So instead of going and do a run 5 miles, I go play a match of rugby.
Yeah.
But I was still, you know, up East London the night before until 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
doing my boxing training, sparring 10 rounds, and
Yeah.
then coming back, waking up at 8 o'clock to go meet the teams, and just always I've always kept busy, always.
Who got you into? Who took you to box? Because obviously your brothers are also a former world champion as well, Charlie Edwards. For those that don't know, so it's a boxing family. See what I'm saying? So, how did you two get into it initially? Do you remember?
Yeah. So originally, my brother, I think he just started secondary school. So just started secondary school, and my sister used to work, you know, like IB-fers or nappers. Used to do them, and I remember one time, she must have had a little disagreement with a girl, and I think she had a little run in, but then got jumped by like 5 of her mates. Anyway, and my sister, she's a bit smaller than me, quite a big girl, but she got fight. She fights like a man. Do you know what I mean? So the rest of the week at these girls' holiday, she worked that day. I think she got 3 of them. Do you know what I mean? And caught them and that. But anyway, coming back telling that story, my brother probably something clicked in him. But we had this it was my dad's friend, old man Jimmy Beckett. He was. And to paint the picture, he owned a flower stall. You know, you know Mitcham. Mitcham tram and train station. Yeah, not Eastfields, the other one, Mitcham. So there was, I think it might still be there now. There's a flower pitch there, right at the station. As you come out, there's a flower pitch by the golf course, and he owned that for years. And we used to go and go see him with my dad. And he had next to the flower shop, he had like a caravan, you know, snatch style. No, that's his office. So in the back of that, there was all like behind me sitting now. There'd be all pictures of fighting and gyms, and because he was into boxing, I think he used to run a boxing gym way back Wednesday, like long time ago. And my brother just came out of it randomly one time when we was there, saying that he wants to do it. He knew that he had, you know, been involved in boxing, and he put us in touch with one of his old schoolboy friend, like levels friends. Like it was Teddy Boy's name was, and he was about 80-something years old, running Roundshaw Boxing Club, and that was in like just a leisure centre, and that was my brother just asked randomly and then got into it from that. Yeah, it was a bit of a, you know, my dad wasn't a boxer or big into boxing massively, so it kind of was weird how we found it. And then for 3 months I was too young to go, or 3 or 4 months, because I was only 8, and then when I was 9 I started, and then just kicked on straight away.
You love it. See, you did all the other sports. Was boxing the one that you always felt like, yeah, this is me, more than the others?
It was probably one of the ones I was better at, and my personality as well. I remember one of my boys who I played so many different sports with over the years, and one of my boys, Charlie Woodford, I remember him saying to me one time, probably when I was about 15, like, you are not made for team sports. And it's, you know, like when something just sinks in. And I think, you know what, you're right. Because bear in mind, I never stepped on a pitch and was best player on the pitch. I could...
Can chuck a thing.
But I'm always vocal. And you know when the team's just what you think letting you down, I can't do that. So I think a solo sport, something like a boxing or a tennis or something, would always be for my personality. You know, you just certain personality. Like I can't have people letting me down left and right. I need to blame myself. Do you know what I mean? If something's not going right, at least I can only really turn around and blame myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you did the whole amateur thing, right? You did all of it, all the way through. You did like from local ABAs to England. Did you do GB as well?
Yeah. I was on GB as well.
So when did you first get on the England team?
So my first England fight was when I was about 15. So you have to sort of win your nationals, you know, like your schoolboys or schoolboys or your juniors. And I was getting to finals, you know, as a schoolboy. So I was very talented. I was always talented, but I wasn't the hardest worker. I didn't apply myself as a young age. I just got my talent, got me through.
I can relate.
And I was getting to the finals.
That's like Palms. Palms boxers. Before he got injured, he was boxers as well.
Before I got injured.
He won Haringey Cup and all of that stuff. But he relied on his natural advantages.
Yeah, and it took
rather than training hard.
But it took losing 3 times in 2 finals and a quarterfinals, and then I had 7 months where, like, my dad had us from when I lived with my dad, right? When I lived with my dad, he was quite regimented. If you do something, you do it properly. You do it 100%. You don't play at something. Do you know what I mean? If you know if you know what to do it. Do you know what I mean? His background was stock car racing, so he was a race driver. So everything was quite meticulous with how we trained. So from a young age, we was training 6 days a week. You know, training like athletes,
From
like
what
6 mile
age? From
runs.
what age?
From young.
That's what.
I would say that the serious probably started kicking in when I was like 11.
See, this is what.
And
I'm trying to
even
say.
before then, I'm saying we're still doing 4 training sessions a week. So that's me. Do you know, there's some people that train and they'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursdays. There's some boxers, and they don't really do too much outside of that. We like when we was doing that, when I'm talking about 9, 10, that's not taking it serious. From 11, it was 6 days a week. If we're not training, we're going 5, 6 mile run.
Yeah.
See what I'm trying to say? Let's just
Grinding.
take a moment for
Yeah,
that because
bro.
look, 11 years old, 6 days. They have got to listen. 6 days a week, hard training, dedicating themselves to from 11, and then dad was on it. Big up your dad for being on all of that because he's got 2 world champion sons. So this is what I'm trying to say, where like the work has to get put in. No excuses. You see what I'm trying to say?
Come on.
From early.
Early.
Because look at the results.
And dedicated 6 days a week, you know.
6 days a week.
And
Dedicated.
only took a day off on a day of rest on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And even then, that one always promised that day of rest. You know what I mean? It was,
Guaranteed.
but do you know what? At the time, yeah, we definitely didn't appreciate it. And it's not probably now until I've got 2 kids of myself, and I take my son to football once on a Sunday. And you know when you forget about that halfway through Saturday, and you think, oh, I've got to do that now tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah.
My dad had our structure, our system, our routine, patterned. We knew what we was doing. As a kid, I had structure. I knew on Tuesday where I was going to be. I was getting, bear in mind, like I said, I had good education. So even though as my boxing was getting better, like I was always very, very clever. I'd come into the school as one of the top in the year, like clever. But as, you know, it was getting harder. And I was doing whatever I was doing. And then at this age, you chase around girls, innit? Had a couple of little girlfriends, 14, 15. That first time really sort of doing my thing, you know what I mean? And you turn into I was turning into a little bit like, not the class clown in fact, but I had other interests. So even though my education still stayed, I still got, I'm on my A-levels. Still got all my GCSEs.
Yeah.
Boxing was consistent. Apart from a 7-month layoff I had when I sort of gave up. Do you know what I mean? Like, from 9 to 14 pretty much. You know, we was doing, yeah.
So,
Definitely.
So what happened? Why you had that 7 months?
So
Before you gave up.
So it was like a transition in my life. Say that sounded bad dramatic. I was only 14.
No.
But what I'm saying is, so
But transitions can come at any
so
age.
what I'm
you know?
saying is, so from just to paint a quick picture, from born to 11, my mum and dad were together.
Yeah.
11, first week of new school. So I went from being my mum's, you know, like them mums of the generation. So my mum now is like 66, 67. So from that generation, the house was perfect. You know, like a show house everywhere. Even though I was making mess, it was getting cleaned up as I was making. So I went from me being a crisp kid, you know, like shirts completely ironed, everything clean, to I lived with my dad. My mum moved out.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I kind of blame my mum, do you know what I mean? Thinking, yeah, you left the family house. But knowing what I do now and the knowledge, how they stayed together for that long, I don't know. But
And daddy were ironing them shirts with the same kind.
not same way, no.
you don't
It was
just a
it was
one
make sure they're hung up, hung up
over
overnight. You know what I mean? It was
the creases fall out.
yeah, but it just weren't the same.
It is what it is.
And the yard went from being absolutely just everything had a place to over the months and just getting a little bit more. But after 4 years of pretty much living me and my dad, and that's a hard. Now my dad's a character, innit? He's a character. He's crazy. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit nuts. Anyone that sort of meets him never forgets him. He's one of them. Do you know what I mean? Anyone I brushed past that knew me when I was around my dad like that always will ask because they'll never forget him. Do you know, one of them characters. But at 14. So my boxing weren't doing the best. I'd lost again for the third time in the finals, or the quarterfinals this time, and I sort of had enough of it. And I wanted to do what I thought was normal, and all my mates were doing. Bear in mind, I was getting up, going to school, walking to school, being there till 3:30 or 3:10, getting picked up from school by my dad, drove up to whereabouts in London. We went to a few different boxing clubs over the time. Straight away, be training for like 2-3 hours, then come all the way back. So I'm talking sometimes, I'm from Croydon, right? We'd be going up to, I'm talking like Repton or Newham or West Ham. So usually East London is where the best, it's where the heart of boxing is in this. So by the time I'm walking through the door, it's like 8-9 o'clock. What can I do as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old when I've got patterns, you know what I mean? So there's a few things, and then I moved in with my mum. Come home one day, chuck my stuff in a bag on my back and just gone. Thought, I'm not living with my dad no more. I'm not living with Pops no more. So I went 7 months, me and my dad didn't speak. And I lived with my mum, and then I went from being a little athlete to being a little fat kid.
Yeah.
So my dad was like sergeant major, everything strict, everything diet, no things in the cupboards. To my mum, you want this? You know, anything.
Yeah,
What do you want? Oh, I want pizza. It's 11 o'clock at night. We already had 2 dinners. Ask. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything I wanted. If like to the point of she was letting me. It sounds bad saying it because she knew I was never an idiot that was bringing trouble to the door. But I'd be going to school in the morning, but I'd be coming back at like 2 o'clock in the morning for being at one girl's house at 14, 15.
Yeah.
You know, but because before I didn't really have that freedom.
Yeah.
So my mum, I did take the piss of that because I knew I could a little bit, but I just needed that freedom. So for 7 months, I kind of just did what I
Sometimes you
thought
need
was
that,
living.
though, but sometimes you need that, you know.
And 5 years at that stage, from 9 to 14 is a long period of time. That's a
sometimes you
third of your life at that point.
Yeah.
That 7 months though, and by the end of the summer, my boys who've been calling, we've been going and, you know, going at parties in Guildford and jumping on trains and doing just all whatever 14, 15-year-old kids do, chasing after girls. They was ringing me for motives and I was making up. My mum wouldn't let me out, you know, because I just wanted to cool off.
Yeah.
Just want to stay in, like, I went from not really having the biggest social life to trying to be doing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
To then wanting to pull it back. Like, nah, do you know what? I'm chilling. And then I did that. And once I realised, you know what, I want to box again. It was mad. I hadn't spoken to my dad properly in 7 months. Just got on the phone to him like, yo, let's get the... And I'd put on a lot of weight. Bear in mind, I'm small as well. So when I'm 14, don't think of a 14, 15-year-old kid. Think of like an 11-year-old kid. That's the size I was. Small. I'm small now, but I was always small. Do you know what I mean? So I was a little fat kid. I just kind of just...
Yeah.
I weighed like... I went from 38 kilos, like I remember it, from 38 kilos boxing. In 6-7 months, probably grew about less than an inch in height, and I went to 54. So that's like, that's a big jump. I was just a little fat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you just hit
I
the
was
training.
chubbed
Do
out.
you know what's mad though? So, if you've been keeping up, the first 5 years of my boxing career, so
I followed you.
yeah. So I didn't win anything. 2 finals, quarterfinals. There are only 3 fights I lost at them stage. I won everything else, but I was always falling short just at the main. Like I said, I wasn't applying myself. Then started training again. I went to my dad looking. It's hard to have a relationship with my dad outside of boxing, if that makes sense. But I suppose once he's kind of been my coach for that long, it's hard to pull it back. And especially where he's very much his way or no way, like old school style.
Yeah.
So, but I did say to him at that point, I was like, look, if I'm coming, I want to box for Repton, because I'd been sparring up there, training with all them lot, and they were like who I thought my people. That's where I wanted to go. So he agreed to let me do what I wanted. Took me up there, and then from when I first went back in there, I think I did about a month of running twice a week. And honestly, I went from being these 6 sessions a day to doing 1 run, and my knees feel like they're falling off. Like that's it. I couldn't walk the next day. I remember missing school one day. I just couldn't get out. Like, because obviously I've jumped straight back in thinking, yeah, let's do 6 miles again.
Yeah, but nah.
Because I could do it when I was 11 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and now they're all fat like this, trying to get weight off, and horrible times. But that break off, being able to do whatever I wanted, made me realise that now boxing's what I want to do now.
Yeah.
That's why I say
And then
sometimes it's a good thing.
within coming back, 1 month of just running, my dad wouldn't take me in a boxing gym. He said, you embarrass yourself, yeah. So then had a month, went up Repton again.
That sounds way.
Yeah. Started sparring.
That's on smoke. I said, nah. I said, nah, you're going to embarrass yourself, son.
And then they said, the juniors. Right, so I've done 3 schoolboys, not won a single thing. They said the juniors is in it was like 6-7 weeks from when I was in there. And I'm fat still at this. Do you know what I mean? I'm not fit. And they was like, do you want to go in it? And my dad was like, you just get beat. And I was like, yeah, go on and chop me. And every other year I went in thinking I'm going to punch everyone's head in. Got beat. This was the first time I was half thinking, like, because I remember I've jumped up a lot of weight, and then I had to lose 8 kilos from where I was fat to be there. I lost that easy. And then I was like, I was too light for the weight again. I was like 44 when I had to be 46.
Where's your brother when all of this is going on?
He was always doing good. So
Them ones.
at this time, so he was on Team GB. He was on Team GB from 15. So see how I had that slight different. My success didn't bang at the beginning, and his did. Even though I was probably always a talented one, but he always worked hard. Like no one ever outworked him. And that's where all his early success come from, just working harder than everyone. Everyone he was working harder than. And then they said I'll go in 6-7 weeks later. I fought, and the first kid was like stupid. I'm from one of my old gyms. So my old coach was in his corner. He weren't there when I was there, so I didn't really know the kid, but I was small, still fat, even though I had made weight, still quite chubby, against a really tall kid that looked and I punched his head in. And then after him, I went and punched someone else's head in, and then I think I won 4 fights in a row. I won my first national title, and I'd only been back in the gym. So I had 7 months off, and I'd been in the gym 2 months.
Bust a champagne to that. Yeah, I'm on like the moments. There's bust a champagne to that. Carry on, champ.
But it was a bit like I had no success, and I was sort of dying for that success. Then when I weren't really expecting that, I was genuinely expecting eventually one of these is going to be too big for me, too strong, and that's okay for now. Do you know what I mean? And I just beat everyone, and then that was how I got my first England call up.
I love that.
To digress.
At that point there, yeah, not even just at that point. See, when you're training, your dad's training you and pushing you both. What was his goal for you? Like, was it, you lot are going to be Olympic medalists, or was it you lot are going to be world champions, or both? What was his, or was it just?
Yeah, just like obviously originally it started like very beginning.
Yeah,
it was just to defend yourself, protect it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But once you saw,
then it was these two. Like there was a documentary made about my brother called Trophy Kids. So as you can imagine, it's talking about pushy parents and
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, yeah. My dad looked very good on that. He was a lot worse than that. My dad was smart. Do you know what I mean? The other parents on there, the parents on there doing stupidness, in front of the cameras. My dad knew when to turn it on. You know what I mean? So, but from an early age, it was like when my brother started traveling around the world at 15, Team GB. He was a European gold medalist at 14.
Yeah.
So there was early success, especially for him. He was 3 years ahead of me. So I'm always following him because 3 years behind. Always.
Did you feel any pressure, or did you always think? Let's be real in the room. Did you always think I'm secretly nicer than you when I get on? What?
Oh no, but I've always thought that I'm the best.
Yeah.
And that's
Always.
why.
But
let me show you
not even
something.
like when you say always put you're the best. Always put you're the best is in yourself or between you
man.
and your brother.
Both everything.
Yeah.
Everything,
This,
both.
I say one thing when I fuck with Sonny, yeah. Sonny, see the confidence level that Sonny goes off. That's why I fuck with you hard because I respect it. Because his mentality is, no one ain't fucking with me,
Yeah.
and I'll beat any of you lot.
Yeah.
That's how he thinks. So
Yeah,
he's
the best
he's
way to
going
describe
in
it
there
is
like, yeah. Go on. What?
Prince.
What?
Prince
Nazim,
It's that
yeah.
kind of arrogance and
Yeah.
He's got total self belief.
Yeah, total. Yeah, like
Yeah,
no one can't touch man.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Like
Yeah.
obviously I'm trying to stay as humble as possible, but I haven't got the experience, right, of getting in a boxing ring and getting my ass handed to me. I haven't
Right.
But
from
then
sparring, like when I was young.
And you ain't got to be humble with it. You know something, you see something, you're not always humble every day. Listen, you're the man.
You're the champion.
You're
You're
the
the flyweight champion of the
champion,
world, B.
Champ,
Let's back out the belt now.
The belt, is it time?
Back out the belt,
Back
blood.
out,
Back out the belt.
Let them know you're the
Let
champ,
them know
champ.
the champs in the
So
building,
they know
brother.
man's back
You
in the
think-
talk
you think
up.
everyone gets to touch a world championship belt, blood?
There's one guest. Oh yeah, this is my girl. This. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Come on, blood. You're the champion of the world, bro.
Jeez.
Come on.
That's not simple.
Come on.
Gee. Now for the viewers at
They have
home,
to understand.
for the viewers at home, now
upside
you
down.
see what we're really working with, yeah.
Don't ever get confused.
Winners
See
talking,
the winners, a winner is
Like and
talking.
yeah,
and let
trust
them
me.
know what belt
Come
that
on.
is.
The IBF World Flyweight title.
See what I'm
I have your
saying?
world flyweight title. Now, when you fought, man, what was his name? Maruti. What's his name?
Maruti Mufalani.
Maruti. Blood. That's how you. I like the movement. Everything was nice. Like, don't get me wrong. I reckon around 9, 10, I could see you were starting to get a little bit tired. You're still controlling him, but it was not as clean as you was. But to me, you dominate. It was never, in my opinion, I wasn't in any doubt that you won. It was clear, landslide. Did you know already? It was decision, but did you know, like, yeah, I've got this?
Yeah, after 7 rounds, I knew I'd won all 7.
Come on.
Like, I knew. They're. And then at that point, you know, as a boxer, that when you've won 7 rounds, there's 5 left.
Come on.
So if they can win every single one of them rounds, as long as you don't touch down.
No, champ.
Yeah.
Don't put the belt away, blood. Put that.
Oh, you
next
want it
to
out?
your
Yeah,
face,
have
blood.
it out.
Oh, you want it out?
Do your
Put
thing.
that
Have
I
it
thought
out.
I-
Let it sit beside
Nah,
you.
what we doing? When the
Let it
belt
sit
got put
beside
away,
you.
nah, champ. You're too sunny.
Calm,
You're
calm.
being too humble now.
Yeah,
No, we're
yeah,
not
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that.
Do you know what? It's funny you said that.
Let
Yeah.
it rest on the
It's
chair.
not every day that man them see that. It's not every day that man them see them big
Bruh,
belts there. You
I've
know?
never
Come
seen
on,
the
man them
IBF
from the block, man.
champion.
Only see that shit on Sky
I only see that shit on wrestling.
Come
And
on,
then
bro.
wrestling, I only see them things boxing and wrestling and them things there, fam. Right, it all look like it's all like blinging off and that, fam.
Flinging.
Blinging off. That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what? It's been hiding, to be fair. I'll be real. Do you know what it is, though? I don't know, man. It's just...
Finish collecting.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
That's one
Say
of
that
them.
for him. Say that for him.
That's
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
them. No,
I
no.
need to make sure this is right.
Yeah,
Blood is
yeah, that's
heavy,
it.
you
Now,
know.
yeah, there you
This
go.
is
Yeah,
heavy,
you
you
go.
know.
Man, come on, I'm feeling
There
that
you
in a
go.
minute, blood. Pass
There
that
you
to the
go.
champ. Let the champ.
Heavy.
I'll drink some champagne to the champ.
Yeah.
That's it to celebrate it. To
Wait,
celebrate.
because man has to be clear. I have to keep repeating this. That's why I'm just gonna keep. I have to give you the respect you deserve. I have to keep referring to man as the champ. The champ's in the building. Salute,
Yeah,
champ.
seriously,
The champ's
salute.
in the building.
Yeah, salute.
You understand? Champion
Salute.
of the world. You've gone and fought. How did it feel? I know you won the title and it weren't crowds and all of that weren't allowed in there. How did that make you? How did that feel in the time? Or was you not faced?
Oh no, it's
Didn't
not.
bother that because at the end of the day, it's just you and him in there anyway.
Trust me.
How did it feel? Did it feel better that though, or did you? How did that feel like?
You know what?
with the-
Because
with
obviously
people?
it was in London, wasn't it? York, cool.
People look that up on YouTube if you can, or wherever. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
Look up on YouTube. Sonny Edwards versus, say his name again. Was it Maruti?
Maruti, yeah, Maruti
Maruti.
Mafalani, yeah.
But does it
South
feel
Africa.
like more
IBF world
intimate?
title.
Like you see, like with that the crowd being in, it's just you the fighter. Obviously, you got the ref in there, the couple. Does it make it more of an intimate fight than having all the big crowds and everyone screaming and shouting? Does it make it more just? It's all about the skills. Just you two in there. Like,
Yeah,
did it change?
see me, I'm very tunnel vision. A lot of people, it might affect them. Do you know what I mean? There's some
Yeah.
people come out and say they thrive off the crowd or.
Yeah.
But with me, I was at home. Obviously, I was in London. There weren't many people there, but what I did have was a select few of my people there. So there was like about 10 or 12 of them, plus the people that was there from, Frank One Promotions, my management team, my team. So all in all, there's probably about 20, 30 heads in there that was, in the ring with me, do you know what I mean? And that's enough when they're shouting and screaming every fight. Yeah.
Did you feel like it was just your moment? Was you nervous? How did you feel like coming to that? Because it's the world. You're fighting for the world title now. I think some things happened that made it happen. Like originally, you weren't scared. You weren't next up to fighting, were you?
No.
But it kind of went that way. How did you feel? What was the nerves like? Or you just felt this is me. It's my time.
Like
Okay.
anyone on Fight Week, there was a few people that mentioned it, like a few media people, especially after the fight. They couldn't believe how for a 25-year-old that's put him. Like the way I am as well, I'm quite outspoken. I'm quite, the kid with the quiet mouth never got no sweets growing up. You know what I mean? It's, you know what I mean? Especially at flyweights, you have to do that little bit more to get the eyes.
Definitely,
You have to do something a bit more to catch imagination. Once you got, you know what I mean? When you was talking about big Sonny Edwards, once they spun the camera around and see me, that's probably like, oh, he's a boxer. Do you know what I mean? Let's be real. Let's be perfectly real. Do you know what I mean? A boxer, you're expecting my brother here to walk in. Do you know what I mean? Let's be real. Let's be real. So I've got to do that a little bit more.
But
you
do
know.
though. That's why I said. That's
Market
why I
it,
want people to watch it because the style and the swagger that you're boxing with, the man them will fuck with it, bro.
Yeah.
Like the way he boxes,
I didn't watch it, but I'm gonna go back and watch
he
it.
boxes like the man. He
I'm gonna go
boxes
back
like
and
Adam.
take it in.
He boxes how you're
What,
like,
smooth with it?
Yeah, he's slick, smooth,
Slick,
switching.
yeah.
It's nice. It's nice.
I'm
all that
saying.
shit. You know, I watch my boxing. I follow that shit.
So for the team, I can feel your excitement.
I'm signing
I
off
can
on
feel
men.
Pounds'
I'm signing
excitement.
off on men. Yeah,
But-
come on.
Say no more.
But you know,
yeah.
but one thing about all like my style anyway, we're talking about that. There's nothing I do in there that's sort of forced
Can see it.
or I don't come out and start thinking, alright, let me start. Everything I do is just reaction. That's why some of my movements, like you'll see me firing shots from mad like places that you wouldn't even think to. 'Cause everything with me, I'm a reaction fighter. I react what's in front of me. But with the whole build up, like even way before this and way before, more than anyone out of my close team probably rated me to a certain degree. For years, like when I was 18, 49 kilos amateur, I would see the best in the world at Olympics, and a few Olympians I'd beat them, a few former amateur world champions I'd box my first fight, beat them. So I've always known once I'm in the ring, I can do a madness, and like I said, I spar people way above me, like good fighters, like lightweights, and that's like 6-7 weights above my weight. And I've never been in a ring and really felt inferior to someone. I don't have that. So before the fight, the build up, the ring walk, getting in there, the first round, I don't think the person opposite me is better than me.
Yeah.
So until they show me that they are, that's what they're gonna have to do. They're not gonna beat me in here before, because your mind will give up way before your body ever will.
Yeah.
You can keep pushing your body through the maddest of extremes.
Yeah, that's right.
Once you got adrenaline pumping through, and once you got your eyes set on something. But
My guy that you beat, say his name again,
Maruti, yeah.
Maruti,
Maruti,
I keep going to say it, but like he was serious. He hadn't lost for about over a decade, didn't it?
13 years.
13 years. Come on, he was a solid. He's a solid champion that you beat. It's not like you beat
Yeah,
some
no.
powder puff guy.
Number one in the division he was.
Come on, number one in the
By the ring,
division.
anyway.
And you,
By the
and you
ring.
took, and you took him to school. You took
Well, the
him
ring,
to
that's
school.
big.
Yeah, number
Ring
one in the
magazine.
ring. Yeah, yeah.
You took him to school. Who's the other flyweight champions right now?
There's the Mexican that my brother boxed, Martinez. He's
Because your brother,
he's the other one that
Your
I
brother was
want
a flyweight champion as well, right?
yeah, WBC.
He was the WBC. Okay, so he's still boxing, yeah, bro.
Yeah. He had a baby and some time off, but he's planning his
You
route back.
He's root back in, yeah.
right. So your next fight, who have you got? Who's
A
you're telling me?
Filipino, Jason Mama, my
Filipino,
mandatory.
Jason.
He must have known he just went
That's
to
why
it.
Rex ran.
Yeah,
out.
yeah, Rex. Hey, you know, Rex is on the phone. All right, so he's got the belt here right now. He's all talking tactics. He's all talking tactics. Yeah, he's fearless, so you're gonna have to go in hard. He's
Right,
talking
Jason
bare
Momoa.
tactics out
He's
there.
that's an undefeated fighter, right?
Yeah, younger fighter as well. So obviously my
There you
last
go.
one was the old vet, and now this one is the like I was in my
Have you
last
got a
one.
date for that yet?
Not yet. I'm looking at September-ish time.
And you're with Frank, right?
Frank's my my promoter and MTK my manager.
And MTK. Shout out my guy,
Yeah.
Adam Hart over there, MTK lot. So yeah. So did you train over there? Did you go to Marbella and do all of that?
I did when I first turned pro. That was my first 6-7 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where they're based?
That was.
That's
They
where
don't.
they
They didn't
were
got a gym there no more.
Nah.
No, they ain't got a gym there no
Oh,
more.
that's where it was for a while. What?
Yeah, it was nice over there though. It was
Yeah,
good.
Pools, weather's nice.
Yeah, wicked. I like Marbella, man. Good
Yeah,
spot.
yeah, yeah,
Good spot. Love it.
I don't mind a little Marbella.
Yeah. Nah, before, I think you had a baby, a month. Your second baby, second child.
Second son, yeah.
Yeah? Second son, like a month before the world title fight, right?
Mhm.
And complications with birth and all of that kind of stuff. But thankfully, everything went through, and your boy's here now. But did any of those things take away from like? Because obviously, this is the thing: you got boxing, you got to train, you got this, that, there, but also you got real life to live. People forget that times. Are you good at separating and just staying focused? Like you said, tunnel vision.
You see, with me, I'm probably a weird, like, stuff like this. I've always performed best in the ring when the maddest of things have been going outside. Always.
I know them ways, dude. I know
My
them
my first and only senior ABA title, like the goal that you try and win as an English amateur. That's when my mum first went in hospital. You know, before that, my trainer tried pulling me out. It was my first season with my trainer, who's still my trainer now. 6, 7, 8 years ago, whenever this was. He was saying, "No, I'm gonna pull you out." I was like, "Nah." How long's the weigh-in? He was like, I think it was something like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and I had like, how much did I have? I had just over 8 kilos to lose, and I hadn't been in the gym for 3 weeks. I've been at hospital saying bye to my mum every other day. Do you know what I mean? And then I went on and smashed the championship with this. You know, but my first son came 10 days before a fight, and then this one came a month before. Yeah, I think as soon as I get in the ring or get in the gym, I just don't think of anything else. It's like tunnel
Lock
vision.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an ADHD kid, so when I focus on one thing, I'm focused,
Yeah, locked in.
and I just don't have, the room.
See, like you're intelligent, yeah. You're quite book smart, like you said, 11 plus this, that, other grammar school. Do you think that translates partly to boxing, to being able to read situations? Do you think there's a something that combines?
Yeah,
between
definitely.
the two where there isn't it, right?
Definitely, and I think
Ring intelligence. Ring
yeah,
smarts.
like definitely, and it's like I remember having this conversation with Adam Booth. Yeah, shout out Adam Booth, great trainer. But and what the conversation was, like the Marxist theory, yeah, for knowing like literacy, so people writing. No matter like, so you Doug now or you Pounds, you write a story, a kid's book, whatever, something completely unrelated to your life or whatever. No matter what, there's still gonna be your DNA of your life, your experiences, your pros. There's gonna be something in there that can't be disconnected. And with boxing, I think it translates. A lot of time, fighters they box at their personality. A lot of their time, not all the. There's obviously examples, but when you really underpin their actual personality, like a very balanced person boxes very balanced. A very wild person fights very wild. It's just.
Facts.
And
the
me,
art is
I'm
the
a
art,
very
innit? Like what you're saying, the art is the art. The art of boxing is where it is, but then different people kind of like their DNA of it brings it
because
out
when
differently,
and when you play to your DNA and your personality strengths, because I could think I'm a puncher, I could think, oh, I'd do this, but that's not how I'm gonna succeed to the elite. So from early, I knew what I was good at, and I ran down that path. Even when people was calling me boring, said it won't work, said, oh, it works at this level, won't work, and then I still stuck to it. When people saying, oh, you won't get nowhere if you're not knocking people out, you know, all of these.
Hear that?
I just
Punditry.
stuck to my yeah. Has he got every time I fought for any time? It's always been, but has he got the power to do it at world level where people won't respect?
Was it harder for you because of your brother? Because your brother's got a bit more power in his hands. Than you.
He's got more knockouts.
See, nah, you're not having that.
No, go on. He's got more knockouts on his record, though, innit?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, but
Sonny, he's not
there's a
here.
lot of people. There's a lot of that. When we start talking about records, it's when
who
you
you're
stop.
fighting.
It's who you're stopping. When you're stopping them, who you should be stopping, who you shouldn't be. So for that side of things, I've stopped everyone I should have. I've stopped one person I shouldn't have, and everyone that I shouldn't have stopped, I haven't stopped.
Come on.
You know, like that.
Yeah.
So I know where I'm at. I know that I punch hard enough to if I want
cause
to, but
damage,
it's the way we fight is different.
Yeah, you're not.
I'll hit someone, hurt someone. I'm not thinking about getting them out that round. We've still got 10. I'm enjoying this, you know what I mean? We're not. I'm not jumping in and thinking, oh, let me try and get you out here and you know, giving you any possibility to win.
You're gonna pick man off.
Yeah, it's not set like that. Not when
you
you fight with me. Do you know what I mean? I'm here to do my thing.
Slow cook.
Yeah, do my thing. Subdue the
pressure
crowd.
cooker
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subdue the crowd and just have that murmuring. Do you know?
Yeah.
When I hear that, love that.
Yeah.
You know, once I get into the second, third round, and it's just murmuring, just like
Yeah.
talking. And then when a clean shot lands, like a little bit.
Yeah.
When it's all up and like that means there's too much action going on. That's
I respect that so
Hey,
much.
come
I
on.
respect that. I
Hey.
respect
Giving away
that.
a
Talk.
secret.
He's
No,
talking- he's
but you
talking the real.
see what I took from that? You can relate that to a lot of stuff, you know.
kicking the
Trust
real.
me.
You can relate that to a lot of stuff.
He's
That's a
kicking the
gem
real.
right there, bro.
Because that's how Mayweather talks as well. Like, what? It's not about.
That's how you know
like,
things are going well.
Yeah, you're not meant to be hearing.
If everyone's going,
Yeah, and everyone's
Silence.
going up
You
and
you know what I mean?
moving
But
around.
when it's just like, you know,
Yeah,
you're doing your
cruise
thing in the
control.
ring when you're the home fighter.
Yeah,
Don't get me
yeah.
wrong, for my world title, when the stakes are 10 times, it would have been different. Every shot people, do you know what I mean? Like they were the ones that was in there.
Yeah.
Like the people that was sort of, you know, my style, it divides people. Either they're sat there clapping, thinking, you know what, that's beautiful, or they're going, you're just running, that's horrible to watch, it's boring, But at the same time, whilst they're watching, they're just praying that I slow down. They're praying that I stop. They're praying something changes.
Yeah.
So they're still invested. You know,
Yeah,
they're hoping that I get beat.
Cool.
But
Rex, when we was at the room, we were talking that he's got one of your countrymen next.
So you're gonna
He's
punch him up.
Punch him up.
He
like.
said
He's gonna
He's gonna
punch him
break
up.
out one of them Filipinos.
What's his name? What's his name?
Jason Mama.
Jason's gonna punch up Jason's mother, blood. He's gonna pace up Jason's mother. You know him? You heard of him?
Nah, he's an unbeaten
Rex
fighter.
don't care.
Pacquiao.
Yeah,
He only knows
He
Pacquiao. He only knows Pacquiao.
He only knows.
He's a Yusuf.
See, he ain't big enough.
But
He ain't big
anyway.
enough. My family.
Anyway, back to the script. When you was doing that the amateurs and the ABA, all of that stuff. Yeah,
P though, he's bad.
it's not the bad. You got a couple. You didn't feel like it went where it should have gone. Sometimes that you didn't get picked for certain things.
Yeah, bear. I had a big chip on my shoulder.
I was gonna ask you that. Do you think that chip on your shoulder is why you're showering people so much now? It helps when you're in the pros.
I've always had a chip. I like small man syndrome, innit? Let's be real.
Come on.
It is what it is,
What's
innit?
the biggest man you've ever thumped up? Just in
I
general.
don't, I throw in it. Do you know if it kicks off, I throw. But I'm not like, I'm lucky that, you know, I had a good upbringing to the sense of, like, I had this conversation, yeah. Like I just had what I wanted to do. I'm lucky that from a young age I never tried, you know, falling down to the money too much, or you know, I just stuck to my boxing, did my thing. I played my games. I was quite, you know, content. I weren't, which is lucky though. I'm lucky I never found, I'm lucky that I never wanted for too much when I was younger. Should I say that way? So I'm lucky that I had, you know, I wanted the new PlayStation. After a little bit of, I'd got the PlayStation. Do you know what I mean? It was, so I never had to go out and which I'm lucky, yeah, because otherwise I would have been doing nonsense. I know that. I mean, I used to bang like, do you know, like on FIFA points and that. You know when you're getting them the ways you shouldn't.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah,
basically
yeah,
fraud.
yeah,
Now thinking about it now,
Yeah.
it's like I was banging big fraud on people's cards and that, like allegedly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like,
to get-
no, because of all these
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
how
yeah,
you used to
man-
get the points and
Man
you
just
know
wanna keep opening
on these
packs.
other accounts
Man
off
just want the
eBay
packs
and.
to
I just want to keep
Yeah,
opening
yeah,
packs, you know.
But if obviously I was trying to chase, you know, money, I'll probably, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
luckily I had my focus
That's
always.
why I
You know
say
what I mean?
I've got to big
It's
up
lucky.
your dad same time.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
He
one
was
thing I never had a lack of we always had, like, it was more overbearing than anything. I mean, if we was going to our girl's house, like, he'd spoke to their pops before. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. It was, we never had a lack of effort. Obviously, at a young age, obviously, a lot of the time it's, you know, it's like police, innit? It's a headache that you don't appreciate. If anything,
Well,
it's the
you get it
opposite.
now,
But now, like, just like, obviously, without my dad, me and my brother would, well, one, we wouldn't be here, but without being the way he is, no way would have us been excelling at anything. Do you know what I mean? No way.
So I say you got to big him up.
Yeah.
You went with Frank. Your brother was with Eddie. Did you ever consider at any point like going with the Eddie Hearn show, or was it? Did you talk to him? What was the?
When I first turned pro, like, my idea was, boom, my brother's with Eddie, like, I'll sign up with Eddie on a quick one. So I signed with my management team, and me being the young, dumb, naive, you know, ambitious boxer that I was, I signed up with the management team and then went straight to Eddie and was like, yo, I'm doing it, because I already spoke to him, seen him at shows and whatnot. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm interested, But then obviously my management team was a bit like, what's the point of us then? If you want to go manage yourself, you can have your contract back, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously they must have had the conversation. It weren't, whatever it was, I don't know. They just said, look, trust us. Trusted them and
Now you got the world title.
trust me.
Yeah.
And obviously I can compare a lot of things to my brother, you know, career so far, and the way I've been dealt with and managed, and you know, my brother had, you know, one of his countrymen, Casemiro, and his night fight.
You know the Casemiro Rex. No,
He's a big deal.
All this
Casemiro.
done knows is Pacquiao.
What man knows
Everyone knows
Pacquiao?
Casemiro, and you don't know Casemiro.
When you said
You know
Casemiro,
Pacquiao,
in his head I could say, I heard Pacquiao. No,
You're a casual,
But, like-
you're a casual Filipino.
like, for
You're not
example,
even a
my brother
casual
had-
boxing fan. You're a casual Filipino.
So my brother had him in his night fight. Do you know what I mean? He went from like fighting a 6-round journeyman fight and a couple of English level fighters.
This guy's a proper.
Proper, he was a 2-time world champion
Remember
at
that?
that point.
It's a big deal.
At that point, and he's now a 3-time world champion. He knocked out Tete. He's meant to be fighting Donaire next.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
big
remember.
deal.
I remember when your brothers took a couple of L's. It was because he kind of got
Trapped in the deep end, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got fast
definitely.
tracked. Because I started hearing about him quick.
Yeah.
Patient man ride donkey. You went the other way, and it's worked out.
I had
for
my
you.
first, you know, my debut was over in Spain.
Come on.
There was kickboxing and that on the same show.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You know, once you start explaining stuff like that, yeah. My second one was I didn't show up in Scotland 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
My third one was Tolworth Leisure Centre.
See,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You paid your dues.
Then number
Did the
4.
rounds though.
Then number 4. Do you want the Davies bill?
But you know sometimes,
Yeah.
as well, even though your management has to take a lot of credit for it as well, and also Frank Warren's very experienced and
Yeah.
seasoned, but at the same time, sometimes having your brother there to see what's gone wrong at times.
The mistakes, definitely. I've had that luxury.
Yeah.
And that's why
100%.
people that, for me, just on a little tangent, people that they want to do something, they want to commit something, they want to achieve something, but then they're not willing to put the time in to learn all the mistakes that everyone around them's made, or even other people in the same industry as them made. You know what I mean? I'm lucky that I had someone in house, my brother, same weight as well. So when they were doing figures, like, I know my brother earned for a British title fight, so we can go with that straight away. Do you know what I mean? I had gauges to go with. Do you know what I mean? I had that luxury, but not even just then. Even having that ambition of taking them early fights, you know, jumping yourself in. Promoters are promoters anyway, but like knowing the sort of mistakes not to make. You know, when the big fight comes and the promoter who usually speaks to your management, all of a sudden WhatsApps you, do you want the fight? And here's the purse, and you say yes. And now all of a sudden there's no room for negotiation. There's no you've accepted the fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've seen all these mistakes that people have made and jumping into contracts that they don't understand, and something that I never would do. I'm very like meticulous, and I break down all my own stuff and get a contract and read it 3-4 times, sit on it for a couple of weeks, and then once you know they're ringing your phone wanting to sign it, they want you to sign more. You're in a better place of power. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like a few things I've picked up definitely early, and
Big brother thing though. Did your big brother feel like he could have you, like, if you was like big
nah,
brother
I think
thing, innit?
just search an interview where he speaks about us, he would always say that I'm the better boxer.
I respect that.
He's always worked harder
I respect that.
growing up, but obviously now I'm at the stage where I'm elite, so I know how hard I have to work. Do you know what I mean?
Tell
Well,
them about the work. Tell them about a typical week's training for elite level work, so that this lazy fucker over there can hear it.
On a quick one, so Monday, Wednesday, Fridays they're the same, and Tuesdays and Thursdays they're the same.
Go
So Monday, Wednesday, Friday they're usually a boxing session in the morning, and then should be doing some cardio at night. You know,
saying
like
that
running like 5. So it's like it'll be like an hour boxing session in the day, then like a 5-6 mile run at night. And then on the Tuesdays,
Well, late night or just...
whenever you want, whenever your
Okay,
day is,
yeah, yeah.
because I'm a full-time pro. I don't have to. I've never worked and done anything else. Boxing's been my hustle
Yeah, so that's you.
always.
You're the champion of the world.
Come on.
Continue.
Yeah.
I got to keep reminding you.
Trust me, man ain't got to do
Man
that.
ain't
And
got a
then-
part-time job.
And then
It's heavy over there.
and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, wake up 8 o'clock. We'll either be on the track, we'll be on the bowl, which is opposite the IS, or we'll be in the gym on treadmill. And then straight after doing your sprints or your runs, whatever you're doing, like your trap work, over the strength and conditioning. Do that for about an hour, and then come in later again to do light boxing for like 45 minutes, an hour. So
Is
that's
that
3
camp or
sessions.
is that
Isn't it?
just your training?
No, that's in camp. Do you know what I mean?
That's in
Out
camp,
of camp, it's usually like 1 session a day, making sure the vitals are ticked.
Ticking.
But
Like,
you keep yourself ticking over. You're not one of them that out of camp, let me go and
Party.
put bare weight on and this, that, that.
I've put bare weight on a few times, but that always comes with injury with me because I like being in the gym. I like
Try and
sparring.
stay close, not too
You
far
know,
from
it's
the gym,
any time. Like I could be 3 weeks not fighting, not really been training, been out partying, been doing whatever. Oh, there's 10-round sparring, 8-round sparring. They need me. I'm there in the morning. Come on from nights out, you know, getting back 4, 5, 6 in the morning, doing whatever with whoever until whatever time, and being in the gym, sparring half liquored at 9 in the morning. I love it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Champ.
And when you say
This is
sparring,
out of camp though.
Champ.
This
And
is
when you
out
say
of
sparring,
camp
is it
though.
like one of your people from your camp is kind
Maybe.
of in camp.
Maybe.
And then you might go and do a little session to help their thing.
Maybe, or
Yeah.
someone from another gym's asked, and because my trainer knows
You charge.
that if they get me to go to them, there's like an etiquette in boxing. Well, I see it this way anyway. There should be an unspoken etiquette, right? So if we're contacting you for sparring, there's 2 things that are either happening. Either we're coming to you, or we're paying you to come to us.
Yeah.
Don't be ringing my phone and expecting me to jump on a free down to you. Especially when you get to the stage where it's like, you know, if you're calling me as a 5-6-0 prospect, I'm champion of the world. How are you gonna ring me up and then expect me to come help your camp? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
just an etiquette. Like now, so I had 2 of my previous opponents as my sparring partners for my last fight, for my world title fight. Every day, but one of them as well, Thomas Asomba, shout out to him, he's a good friend of mine. He got the bag off me sparring. I must have sparred him 60 something rounds.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's only doing 4s, 6s, paying the same boom boom every time, make sure he's nice. Because that's when you get to the stage where you can do that. You got to do that.
Yeah.
But there's the etiquette, do you know what I mean? Obviously, starting up when everyone's on low humbles, it's, we'll come to you, come to us, and all of that nonsense. But there's an etiquette, I
Nah,
think.
the champ, but champ, let's just rewind that. We've got to talk on this. I heard some partying talk, a lot of partying with the boys. We're not doing too much, champ. I need you to stay as close to the gym as possible. You're the champion of the world.
Yeah, but one thing I will say is, the way I've always got by
You need your releases.
enjoying. No, but as soon as I've got a fight camp, I'm a
Yeah, but
recluse.
I hear that though.
10,
champ.
12 weeks, I'm a
Champ,
recluse.
I hear that, but we've got to live a certain way even when we're not in camp.
Of course, of course.
But he
Of
was
course.
saying no
Because
one
we're
ways.
looking-
No, I think what he was trying to say was like just to save him. I think it was just like it was the one where he's saying even he'll go to a sparring session even if he's been out.
Yeah, I will still be
Yeah,
there.
so he's-
I
no,
hear
no, no,
10
no,
a.m.,
no,
9
no,
a.m.,
no, but I think
doing
he's-
the work.
I feel like he's saying even if
I just want.
Putting the work in.
We're going all the way, you know, champ. We're going in Vegas.
Yeah, we're going
Yeah.
Vegas.
Just let me know we're all
Yeah,
we're all
yeah.
playing out.
I'm
We're doing
playing.
it all.
I'm getting my Isha.
Come on, you're at the top of you're the top of right now. You're the top of the food chain. Certain times you're out having a drink and partying. The ops ain't doing that.
Yeah, try.
Them men are hungry. You're at the top now. They're all
Yeah,
watching
them
you
man-
like
them- yeah, 'cause them
they
man
want
in them
you.
mad
Them
countries,
ain't
they're
on none
cutting
of that.
trees.
Yeah.
They're
of course,
just working. They want everything that you've
Yeah,
got.
try.
So we're training like.
But I know under the context of which he was
I
saying.
know
it.
what you're saying.
But
Yeah.
he's saying that helps him do the other thing.
Now, but to be fair, obviously this last however long, I'm one thing I'm not is a pub kid either.
No.
So the last time any places see me was when clubs were open.
Yeah.
I go clubbing 10 till 3 home time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, not 10 to 3. That's like midnight, get in there
Yeah,
on the way
shout
home
out.
by
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
I'm not one of them that can be up at 5,
What
6,
time we
7,
running the
8.
next day though, champ? What time
Yo,
we running?
I remember when my brother first jumped to Sheffield, very first joined our gym. He's not there no more, but when he first did, we was out just showing him around the town, even though he'd lived there before, but with us. And then we got in, I think, about 3:30, 4. Me, my brother Levi, and my real brother Charlie, my family brother, shall I say, blood brother. We was running outside in the pissing down rain, 6:30 in the morning. 6:30 in the morning. all of
I
us,
to the champ, you know.
all of us
Was
didn't
that
really
champ?
want to speak too much
That's
because we
right,
didn't want
champ.
our trainer Grant to smell the alcohol on us. But you know, we all did good times. We all did our work and was all quiet.
Okay.
You know, just in your head.
Okay.
And it was mad. That
instant
session
fitness,
went
man.
quick. I was still half
Wish
cut
I had
from the
that
night
instant
before.
fitness.
No, because you could have. It's easy to say I'm not going. You know, it's easy to say I'm
Very
not gonna
easy.
run.
But
It's
that's
easy
one
to tell
thing.
'em.
No matter where I put myself, once I've committed to something, I've
My
committed.
God.
So like
My
this
God.
today, come all the way down.
Okay.
Here we watched the football match. Shooting back up to Manny. I've got to be at the gym at 10 a.m. in the morning. But I've committed, so I'm there. Doesn't matter what happens, I'm there. Do you know what I mean? That's
Whatever
it.
you got on
All
the
you got is
calendar, you're
you
doing
know what I
it.
mean? All you got in this world, your balls and your words. You know what I
Your
mean?
balls.
And I believe that.
Let 'em know.
And I really,
That's
real
why
life
he's my guy.
believe
That's why
that.
the champ's my guy. Keep calling him the champ. The champ's my guy. So, you know hardship as well. Like, you've gone through some things with your mum. You mentioned it earlier. Your mum's not well. How do you said tunnel vision, of course, but does that carry you as well? Like when you're training, do you like some people like myself, like I can take pain, issues, this, that, and just channel all of them and be like, right, I'm gonna use that as fuel and I'm just extra hard.
Make the best out of what you've got right now, innit?
Yeah, how you feel on that?
Do you know, I'm not the most emotionally sensitive person. Naturally, I think when I was younger, I was a little girl. Do you know, like when I was like a kid, cry baby, always crying. My first memories in boxing, every time I got hit in the face, crying. Do you know what I mean? Like no, it's for real. Like tears streaming. Just never got out.
But didn't want
crying.
Didn't fancy the lips,
I didn't like ever feeling embarrassed. I didn't like shame. Hated that. Like, I used to get so angry, I'd crying out of anger. Do you know what I mean? But I don't, you know, like my mum's been very unwell for a long period of time now, innit? And then it's not something I've ever dwelled on too much. The only time I've ever shed a tear on it was the first time I seen her. You know, she went from Sunday night, dropped me to train station, cooked my Sunday dinner. Tuesday, she was basically in a coma, and never been the same since that day. You know what I mean? It's been just all madness. But with that, like one thing that I was lucky with, because you know I've never really had to deal with all too much death or loss or anything like that. Obviously, my mum is still here. Very close people to me had, you know, parents that they never met before, or people that are very close to me. Like their storyline with their mum, I couldn't even believe. You know, drugs, alcohol. She passed away by them being the kids being 8-10 years old. I had the most loving, or have the most loving, you know, caring mum. And for 18 years, she did absolutely everything. She got me out of childhood. Do you know what I mean? So now, obviously, she's the way she is, and now my sister looks after her full time. Thank God for my sister, because me and Charlie couldn't do it. I'll be real with you. Couldn't. And I think very few men could do the full-time caring thing.
You
That's
and
amazing.
Charlie are out there
Yeah.
bringing it home, raising the family legacy, bringing home world titles, making everyone proud, making your mum, your dad, all of that's pushing through. So you lot are definitely playing your part.
Yeah.
More
But it's
than-
just, like, it is what it is, and there's no point. For me, I think there's been times, you know, there's sometimes we just, obviously, I wish my phone could ring, and I know it'd be mumsy to have a chat, but it can't be. That's not my reality now. Do you know what I mean? But you know, what I mean, she's still here. She's met my 2 sons, her 2 grandkids, her 3 grandkids with my brother's daughter. So she's seen me win a world title, my brother win a world title, all in the space of the last 7-8 years where we said bye to her way back when. Do you know what I mean? I was still an amateur. I was boxing as an amateur when she first fell ill. Do you know what I mean? So it's my whole adult life, she's been like this. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. I mean, people have it much, much worse. Proper trauma.
Yeah.
For me, you're always gonna end up losing the people, the loved ones above you. That is life, and then and it's crazy. But hopefully, we do lose them before they lose us. You know what I mean? It's the circle of life, isn't it? So you can't dwell on it too much. But
You're a smart guy.
for
champ.
18 years,
Very well put together,
for 18
guy.
years, no, but serious, like I'm talking. I live like a prince. So when I lived with my mum for like 14 to 18, I lived in a 1-bedroom flat. I lived on last time, a big 18. Had girlfriends and at these times, yeah, obviously. And then I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor, single mattress on the floor, up against the 2 sofas, in a nice little private bought flat. And that was my life for 4 years. But my mum lived there. You'd think, right, that should be stressed. I lived like a king. I'm talking, my towels were heated before I got out the bath. Yo, mum, you ready to come up, lift me to my towel? I'm talking like baby boy stuff. I'm the youngest, innit? But serious baby boy stuff. My mum treated me like a king.
Yeah.
I could just sit in one spot for 8 hours. make a maddest of mess and it'll be getting cleaned up around me. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I can't sit there and grumble and feel sorry because I had it good compared to people left and right to me. Do you know what I mean? It's very good. So it's what it is on that one.
My guy, fast forward, because most people, 99% of us will never know. What does it feel like to be the champion in the world, bro? What's it feel like?
It's mad because the way I speak and the way I genuinely believe, I try to be, with me, I made it a conscious decision to be as real, as close to my real personality in the public as I can be. Obviously, there's certain things you got to filter, certain school traces, let's say. You know what I mean? You just have to, innit? You have to dumb it down. But I've always tried to be quite realistic. But I've always said, I'm going to be a world champion. I'm going to win multi-belts. I'm going to be...
Right.
So this, for me,
All of them.
is like... It sounds mad, but when you think about boxing, you don't think about the last 15 fights I just had. In the grand scheme of things, you think about the world title fights that you remember seeing, the big fights, the big stadium. So for me, that was my first step into boxing. That was like my first fight. I 1-0 now in world title fights. That's another record. I've got that 15-0. Let's be real, the first 7 or 8 of them didn't even count. The wins that I was going to get, do you know what I mean? Regardless. Then there was like 7 title fights that I had, and then that. So for now, it's like I'm here now, and I just want the big fights. It's not, I'm not dwelling too much.
God,
I was gonna say, yeah. So you see, with that being said, like that feeling that you're confident that you're getting like these. I'm going for those belts, yeah. So how do you feel? Is it? Do you have a feeling of patience, or do you have a feeling of like? Is it a thing? I'm like, I just want to get busy, or is it like you're like you understand the journey and you're patient, understanding you know that these fights are gonna come, these belts are gonna come. So how does it like? What's your temperament with it? If you get, do you get what I'm saying?
You have to be patient with it,
Yeah.
because every fight I tried forcing, every fight I tried chasing, not one of them fights ever happened.
Yeah.
Not ever. Like, just, calling out opponents, going to their press conference. Not like, I never done anything too brave. I'm not that way inclined.
But we see it on TV. People do it. Yeah.
But that never really happened, you know what I mean? For me anyway. So I was just always, one thing I was, for a period of time, and for me, like, the biggest lesson I could probably pass on, for a period of time, I was a yes man. You know, at the moment when you need them a lot more than they need you, they could just pull the plug off you right now. And where do I go from here? They get to a stage now, they could try and pull the plug off me. I've got stuff that I can market, I can promote, I can push, take it other places. The show's on the road now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for a certain period of time, for 2 full contracts, I was a yes man. You want me to fight, what, in 6 weeks? For how much? Yes. Every opportunity. I was the easiest person to work with, right? I had 7 title fights, 10 or 12 rounders in 14 months. And I was injured and out for 2-3 months in the middle of that as well. So I was busy. Every fight, I took fights at 10 days notice, took fights at 4 weeks notice, but I hadn't been in the gym for 3 weeks because I just fought. Every fight. Never turned down any opponent, never bitched. Made sure everything was fair, never was asking for more money or pricing myself out. I was just a yes man, the easiest person to work with, but that's how I built my name. That's how I got my platform and stood out, because there's fighters that I wouldn't say are just as good as me, because I don't think they exist. There's few and far between, I believe, but many fighters will believe that. But there's fighters that had the similar, GB background as me, similar national titles as me, similar start, and now they're nowhere to be seen, disappeared into obscurity just because when the phone was ringing, it was, but what about this opponent instead? Or only 15 bags, what about 25 when it's an easy gimme fight? Do you know stuff like that?
Yeah.
And then as soon as in boxing, as soon as any business, once like you get blacklisted, he's a dickhead to work with. You've got to be bringing something extra special to put up with the headache of working with you.
Yeah.
And I was so mindful about, do you know what I mean? I got to take the opportunities that are given to me. Do you know what I mean? And also I believed in myself. So they were sending me opponents. This is on God. They were sending me like say 2-3 opponents for a fight date. I already knew I was fighting. They was finding me an opponent, and there'd be like 3. Say there'd be one like was the easy touch. Was really like the weight below me that they would have brought up. There was him over there who hadn't boxed in 2 years, or there was him who was like the real weight, coming off a good win, highest ranked. I'm picking the hardest one every time, and I got the proof of that. I got the evidence of that every time. Pick the hardest one. So, but the general public don't need to know that. It doesn't. But the people that are working, when it's time to make a card, and they got to break down the budgets and they know that they can pick my phone up, and I'm not going to be hard to work with. So it's easy. And then I was getting it, but that's how I edged my way onto TV slots. Not very rarely you see a flyweight box on
gonna
TV,
say,
let alone
yeah,
9
yeah.
fights,
That's-
boom, 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 world title headline. It
That's
don't
the thing I
happen.
was gonna say to you. Being a flyweight, obviously the bigger weight divisions get more TV time, more luster, all of that. What's Frank saying to you? What's your relationship like with Frank?
Yeah, like I keep things quite professional, me. So I understand that it's like in boxing terms, like a holy trinity. Your trainer, your promoter, and your management, right? And for me, they always need to be 3 different people. You know, sometimes people have the same promoter manager or same trainer manager. Never works out because there's always going to be a conflict in interest. This is my opinion, anyway.
You're spitting game, by the way.
Yeah, no,
Game,
this
spitting game, like-
this is how if I'm gonna advise my boy in boxing, this is what I'm gonna say to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because, you know, there's eventually gonna be a conversation where 2 of those parties should be disagreeing, but they're the same party.
Yeah.
When that fight date's too short notice or not for enough money or against the. But hold on, you're arguing with yourself, the same person. You're not getting nowhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and then it's either like it or lump it because you're. Do you know what I mean? But no, me and Frank we get on well. Do you know what I mean? But it's very much no, I mean I'll be real. I've not got his number now. I wouldn't bell him. I couldn't.
But there's
I don't want
people
it to be
do
like that.
though. There's people to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
I've
people
got my
to speak on
management
your
team.
behalf.
So when it's talking business, when they're talking figures on tables, and don't get me wrong, I've got input into all of that. I
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure, obviously,
Yeah.
but they do all of that between them. My management team, who I've got the best of, and a promoter
Yeah.
who I've got Hall of Famers. So they both all know the game. Probably they know that side of the game more than I do right now. So I'm gonna let them do their
But you're
job.
spitting game because, in other words, what you're saying is you let the people that are paid to do certain things do their job.
Basically,
You get what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That's what I
Like,
pay you to do.
Yeah,
do it.
you pay. That's
So
what.
it's just
me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
basic
Like,
fundamentals.
I
Yeah,
don't.
trust me.
Because maybe some people get too involved in everything and they're not actually
Yeah.
focusing on
And
their
then what
talent and
happens
their
is-
craft. You get what I'm saying?
And I'm not going to speak for my management team because my management team are wicked. I think if they don't think they can do something, you can have your thing back. They're not in the business of tying people up or trying to give people headaches. It's not
Yeah.
what they need to do, right? But if you keep it sort of 100 where you're at with your management team, then they can always push you in the right direction. And when you're, you know, being, and I use these words always, young, dumb, naive boxers, which we all are, because once you're only looking at it through your eyes, you can't see the whole perspective. It's impossible. You're looking at it from your perspective, where you want to go, where you think you deserve to be. When you think above that, out of just you as a boxer, who really you're just a product that gets put on place for the one night until the next time you're out. There's TVs, there's budgets, there's schedules, there's storylines they're trying to build. There's a lot more that goes to it.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, and they gave me full reign, I would have fought all the best fighters already that I could have on the way up because I was hungry and wanted them all. And they wouldn't, like, there obviously would be people around me now, but now there's like 3 or 4 built up storylines now of fights that I've wanted for the last, say, 2-3 years. But it's just been, just cool off a bit, cool off a bit, cool off a bit.
What's the names of a couple of them guys?
Oh, there's, well, Martinez is the main one, but obviously he's a different, because he's WBC. The one my brother
sure.
boxed, that one.
Yeah.
So then he's the main one that I want. But then there's Mohammed Wasim, who's a Pakistani kid, went Commonwealth Games silver medalist
Has he got a
recently.
belt?
Nah,
is it just
he fought Maruti and got beat by him.
Yeah,
But
Points or stoppage?
he runs his mouth.
You're gonna
Do you know
shout
what I mean?
him.
Points or stoppage?
Nah, point. I points
flat-
everyone.
no,
He lost to Maruti
Oh,
by
points.
lost
Them
So
flyweights,
points.
a lot of the flyweight
that the
fights
that's
go
over here?
points.
Yeah, in
distance,
Scotland.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fights out over,
Scotland.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen him on YouTube.
He's cocky, innit?
I've seen him.
I see footage of him.
I sparred-
innit?
no, honestly, on a
he's
real
the
one.
that he's trying to move like a
Yeah,
like a
no, but
Nassim and that,
on a real one, yeah. And this is just not being me being real. I sparred him 8 rounds. Literally drove from Sheffield to Scotland. Then, so drove straight to the gym, jumped out, did 8 rounds with my punch his head in.
Normal.
Punch his head in. No. On a real
no
one.
joking, no
Onto the one where his trainer. 3-4 days later at the show, the reason why I was in Scotland was saying, he was my old trainer as well. That spar gave me goosebumps. The things you do in the ring.
Yeah.
His gym mates. I'm not gonna name. I'm not gonna blow no one up. But his gym mates, who was friends of mine. I walked into a conversation as him and my brother were speaking, going, I've seen Mohammed Wasim spar hundreds and hundreds of rounds against all different people, and no one's done what Sonny did to him. Bear in mind, for boxing people, yeah, and anyone that knows me, I move. I use every little inch of that ring.
Literally.
Use the ropes. I make it bigger. Whatever.
Ghost
yeah.
in that ring.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
different like heights of the ring as well. Do you know what I mean?
Then you come
Yeah.
in and do your thing, yeah.
But we was in like a proper small ring, and he had one of them metal bar head guards on. And with them metal bar head guards, or it's a metal bar in front of your face, so you can't. And I was still, mashing him up.
Yeah.
But then he never wanted to fight me. So before I fought for this and won, I agreed to fight him. In the December, January, around that, when the fight's getting made, I agreed to fight him. Get a week later, it's a no-go because Ramadan, which weren't starting for another 4 months. I got bare Muslim brothers. I know that. Do you know what I mean? I know data come in 4 months, and he was getting married, and he couldn't fit in all of that. He couldn't. But the moment I got out as the champion, all of a sudden it's rabbit emojis and rare tear.
You shouldn't even fight him.
Yeah, I shouldn't.
You shouldn't even fight him.
But point of the easy money.
Your
innit?
temperament. I feel like your temperament, and I can even feel your energy now.
Does it make money?
You want to fight him just this is
you just
dead.
wanna thump his face.
Thump him up, guy. You just
And just to show that I'm the best, and anytime there's a narrative, there's a storyline. They're the fights I want to be involved in. Why? There's no point me. I could take.
So is he calling you out? Like, is he putting stuff in your?
He had a little bit, but he knows that he's not in the pecking order to be calling too
And the
tough
thing
right
is,
now.
in boxing, there's levels.
If he gets a
There's
decision,
levels.
if he gets the fight, it's because I've gifted him it. So he should be eating out of my hand and thanking me more than because right now the only way he's getting is a voluntary defense. The only way.
Like,
You know
if
what I
he
mean?
works himself up to
He's
mandatory.
not, but he's still got to do that, and it doesn't look like he's going to do that anytime soon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in my one, so
He's not ready.
Nah,
Tell me
he's-
about your what's your relationship like with your trainer? I always hear his name get called Grant.
Yeah,
Grant,
Grant,
hear his name
Grant,
called
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, he's
How
like-
long you been with him?
since I was 18.
Okay.
So apart from that 7 months when I was over in Marbella when I turned pro first, and the only reason we split then is because at that time you couldn't be an amateur and pro coach, and he had a thriving amateur setup which includes his son Dalton Smith, and I weren't about to ask him to not move away because he still could have manoeuvred it, but he can only done one of the corners, and I weren't about to. So went over to Marbella, it didn't work out. The ruling changed, and I came straight back. But I've been with him, since 18, so 7 years now, coming up to 8. And he just one of a kind, man. Proper. He's one of them people that couldn't do too more for you, and he buries his heart and soul into it. And obviously, I've had a lot of boxing trainers, but obviously my dad didn't oversee the boxing. He did to an extent, but he just made sure that we was fit and we was there, and he made sure that we was getting trained by who he thought was the right people at times. We've had some very good trainers, coming through, amateur coaches. But obviously, when I went with Grant, that was my first time without my dad's input. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
fully.
if I didn't fall into someone like Grant who matched the effort, because like what my dad done with me and my brother, Grant's done with his son Dalton. He was on Team GB. He's now, I think, 9-10-0, Eddie Hearn prospect, one of the highly touted. You know what I mean? So if I didn't fall into someone that matches that ethic, it would have been curtains then when I moved to uni and I was going up, doing whatever I was doing. Didn't want to mention partying before I got told off again by pounds. But you know,
No,
do
don't want to hear none of
you
that.
know what I mean? But it could have been very easy when things weren't going my way. Do you know what I mean? To just distance myself. But it's very easy to put your trust in someone that if we're training at 10 o'clock in the morning, he's there. We're training at 7:30, 45 minutes up Haversige Hills to do a 3-mile run. He's there. Rain, come hell, high water. Track 6:30 in the morning, he's there.
Yeah.
So it's like I can put full trust in him, organising all my training. I just got to turn up, and that's what I always need. Now, there's some people that can stay. Not that I can't stay motivated, but do you know, like having someone else that just you can
Yeah,
leave
on
your
top of
trust.
it.
I've got a fight coming up. My sparring's going to be patterned for when it needs to be patterned for. They're going to be the right sparring partners.
yeah.
I'm going to
taking
do the
something off of
work,
you,
and it's
yeah.
going to be done. Do you know what I mean?
He's taking that off
And
you
we're
as
very
well.
close.
Yeah.
And then, don't get me wrong, he is my trainer, but we work very closely, especially with the other fighters in the gym. Like, he values my opinion a hell of a lot.
I was gonna ask you that your style is your style, innit? He's not gonna teach you this is that style. He's your coach, but he's not gonna teach you to box that way. How much leeway does he give you an understanding of like this is just how Sonny boxes?
No, he always kind of
does he
understood
scream
that.
like? Do you frustrate him when your hands down? And when
Nah, 'cause he knows.
understand. That's what I'm asking. Because some trainers will just know. Nah, he's got this. He's
Yeah,
good.
but when I put
He's
my
good.
hands down is when I'm most defensively switched on. People get
I know.
People get the... When I got my hands up, that's when I'm looking to punch. When my hands are down, you're not
Talk
hitting me
to
now.
them. Talk to them.
Like,
I-
trust
I-
me. Once my hands go
understand.
down, it's curtains for them. They're not landing clean.
I understand.
Yeah.
They'll punch through my guard. They'll land through my guard. They're not landing when my hands are down.
Yeah.
That's that.
The
But
man's manoeuvring.
oh, because everything now is like
On high alert.
it's like putting the flare button on the game, and all of a sudden everything's faster and mover. And because I'm sitting with my hands down, not thinking about hitting you, it's very easy just to think about you not hitting me. Because I'm sort of taking away one half of things, one half of the mental capacity that I've got now. It's like 90%, and that's why you'll see me throwing a shot like that, boom, on the way out from low here, little
man
flick.
can box
there.
like
Yeah,
that, though.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love
But
it.
because I'm literally giving, I'm fighting with their winner's opportunity they're giving me. I'm letting them beat themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't study fighters and how they fight other people. Because if you went on now and watched my last opponent, Mariti Mufalani, highlight KOs, he's got 26 knockouts out of 39 wins, 2 losses. Not lost 13 years.
You
before.
watch
Hear
his
the
highlight,
stats.
you think he's a
Hear the
madman.
stats.
I wouldn't want to get in the ring with him after watching his highlights.
Hear the stats.
Yeah,
You watched him
yeah.
after.
Yeah, but the thing is, I knew him, so I've seen him. So
But you actually knew him, innit? Like,
we was over.
were
We never
sparring.
sparred together, but we was sparring the same person in
Yeah,
Ukraine.
yeah.
So we was around each other for 3 weeks, like paid
so you
sparring
see him
partners.
working.
Oh, but you never sparred each other.
Nah.
So in that kind of surroundings, can you, like, if you wanted to, if he's like, yeah, come on, let's get in the ring,
sure.
then you could actually do it.
And if anyone, there was a couple of other fighters, and if anyone mentioned the sparring, it'd have been like, yeah, who wants to go first? I'll go first.
Yeah. But
That's
you
the
see-
macho in me.
So
That's
what
the
stops-
masculine shit.
What stops
You know
that
what I
from
mean?
happening then? The
I know,
masculine
I can
thing.
relate. I know what you're
So
saying.
what stops that from happening then? Because you spent
Well,
3 weeks together.
as soon as because everyone was there to earn their bread. Everyone was getting paid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if you can do the less rounds, and Ben was all training in between it. Was like the next day was going for runs and was enjoying ourselves and was. So we could have. When my brother went over there, this is a testament.
He's gonna say bye.
When my brother went over there, none of us had. The first time I went, there was 3 of us. Me, Jay Harris, who lost the other day, and Maruti, the one I fought. None of us had immediate fight dates coming up. We was all dragged over there in like February times to help him. Yeah, and I ended up actually fighting. I think a week after I got back, they rang me when I was 2 days before I come back. I'm like, yo, do you want a 6-round thing? And I stopped them in 2. And but when my brother went over there, he had a fight in 5 weeks from when he was coming back. So that time, he was sparring the kid who was meant to spar, letting them do theirs, and then he was sparring like 2 rounds of him, 4 rounds. Do you know what I mean? He was doing, and I was sparring him as well. And then that time, I did spar 3 of the other kids that were there. There was a few Filipinos. Jason Cano was one of them.
Showered them, innit?
No, but they're good fighters though, and they're heavier than us as well. We were the flyweights, they were like bantamweights and that. But that time when I was just down on my own, I went in a rush because I know with my style, the less time I can spend in rings with people, the better. Don't worry, I love sparring though. That's my problem, and I spar a bit different to when I fight. I'm a lot more aggressive. I'm a lot more, not completely, but I'll be 1 step out. I don't mind taking a shot. We're having it out and sparring. It's a bit of a different. When I fight, I'm different. You know what I mean? You're not hitting me in fighting. That's the difference.
Yeah.
But I know because I'm so tricky and I'm elusive and I have tricks that people won't pick up on unless they've been in the ring with me. Do you know what I mean? Once it's worked a few times. The less amount of times I can have them learning off me.
Yeah,
the better.
yeah.
Because remember, I'm coming in here.
brain.
There's the European champion Jay Harris. There's Maruti, who was before previous IBF holder, and then I think he won this belt after I'd been out there with him. But it was the IBO champion at the moment. I don't count that, but IBO. And then WBA, the person was sparring. So these are all like European world levels.
Man, not rated.
And I'm like, no, but the IBO belt, people claim a world title, but it's not.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So all the but at this time I'm like 5-6-0. But I'm getting in there over in Ukraine, just doing my thing. Normal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And for me,
Some real shit.
I thought I was doing the best out of the others against the kid that was sparring.
Yeah.
I had him frustrated, but because of the way I fight, I'm not standing there having a tear up with him.
Yeah.
To the point of their coaches were trying to get me to be more, but they paid for me to come over again, so it couldn't have been that bad. But I was having him frustrated. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Like arguing in Ukraine back to his coaches and rounds not starting for the first 20 seconds and that. Do you know what I mean? No, being real.
Yeah.
Like cussing because of how I box. Because I don't mind being a bit boring. I don't mind because I know how to win. That's what's important. With boxers, a lot of people, they'll come out the first round, they'll land 10 shots, and then they think, oh, this kid's easy to find. The next round, they're throwing like 40, 50 punches. But the 3rd, 4th round, they're goosed. And just because the kid let them hit them for the first couple of rounds and knocking themselves out, it happens, doesn't it? People get carried away with the success too easy.
Your boxing IQ's high. Your boxing IQ's very high. Who are your favourite boxers
All time or no?
all time?
Rogondo's been always
Okay,
my stand out because with me,
Another ghost.
whatever I'm involved in, I immersed myself. So when I was an amateur, pro boxing weren't really a thing for me. I remember seeing like the odd like Carl Froch fight or like maybe a little bit people a bit for that, but pro boxing wasn't a thing. It was the Olympics was like the biggest thing that could come on. Do you know once I was an amateur and all the ABAs, we used to go to every single show up and down the country. My dad would take me, whether we were boxing or not. So, you know, one of the lads from the gym could be boxing in the senior ABA semi-finals up in Newcastle. We were travelling up there, watching it, coming back same day. You know what I mean? So I've always been.
Your dad's a serious guy.
Yeah, yeah. But it was his fun as well.
I know, but
do you know what I mean?
Because considering that initially he's not in a boxing anyway,
Yeah.
that's what you lot on.
Yeah.
He's dedicated.
Yeah, to go and do all of that, innit? Yeah.
And do you know what the maddest thing is? Yeah, because I'm sure on one of your pods that I was watching yesterday, you were speaking about this. And I forget which one it was, but talking about starting young, innit? Lewis Hamilton, you was talking about Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, that's
Was
right.
your last one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton, and that's
Yeah.
and this is all I try and tell people.
Yeah, starting.
If you can have someone starting, the hard thing, I'll be real. The hard thing is keeping a kid go through life, maintaining the discipline, but not even so disciplined, the enjoyment, and the motivation to that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But usually, if someone's good at something, if someone's a footballer and every weekend they're coming up bagging 3 goals instead of man, it's easy to keep them sort of people. But you get that good by starting early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start early and stay on it.
Yeah,
Right,
true.
That's
who
it.
else apart from Rigano?
Like Willie Pep,
Yeah, really Pep.
and that's because once I found out with my style, once I found out that he won a round without throwing a punch, I thought, nah, that's my guy. Do you know what I mean?
Man.
Something I want to do. I'm going to try and recreate that.
Was Willie Pep? I don't know Willie Pep.
Like a
That's
featherweight.
Old school.
old
Like a
school.
featherweight. Yeah, he was times when he had like 100 and something fights. But he was just watch one of his fights. You couldn't hit him. Just like me, just floating around, pop,
Yeah.
cold with it. Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather. You know, like a lot of people I appreciate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people I
The elusive
appreciate.
man there.
A lot of
Yeah,
Yeah,
but don't get me wrong. I prefer watching boxing. Like, I can't watch my fights and get too gassed about them. I can't. I get gassed at, you know, two people having a proper swing out. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone else does.
Yeah.
I don't get to.
But then the thing is, the gas thing, yeah, isn't it like, you think it's like, that's entertainment. Like, that's just the when you actually think about boxing, it's like, even I think.
the brain damage, blood.
Yeah, I think like AJ's best fight for me was
No,
Parker.
it's real.
Was the Parker fight, which everyone was saying was the most boring, but I feel like he boxed the best. Do you get what I mean? Sometimes
you're
the
reaching
art.
there, Doug. You're reaching. That Parker fight was a.
No, he boxed. Oh,
That was
no, not the Parker fight.
I know
mean,
you can't mean Parker.
no,
White.
The
You're
second,
talking
when
white.
the one of your
Second
events when he got his belts back.
Oh, Ruiz.
Oh, no, okay.
okay,
Sorry.
yeah.
The Ruiz.
But that's because everyone was on edge.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone was on
yeah,
edge the whole
but
time.
everyone-
Yeah.
I get where you're going with
It's
that.
boring. But then at the
get
same
where you're going
time,
with that.
he boxed. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the art of
Hit
boxing.
and not get hit.
Hit and not
That
get
was
hit.
he was on that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like that's the art of it, innit? Do you
Yeah,
get what
for
I'm
real.
saying? So everyone wants to get gassed off the fighting, but it's the art of it. That's the bit that you're
That's
saying.
what, yeah, it's same with the Mayweather thing. Like he's not taking. Some people are frustrated because they want to see him take more punishment, but it's him in the ring.
You have to
and it's got
respect
think
how
long-term,
good
like,
he is at
it's
getting
art,
away.
The whole art is to hit, and as far as I know, is to hit and not get hit. I like ain't that like the idea of boxing. Like,
And what happens is as well, people, you see what you just said there about people want to get the gas on this and want knockouts, right? So coming up, especially early on, you can knock back opponents. You can pick people that make you look a bit better, make you look more heavy-handed than you are. You're knocking everyone out. Like, I could have picked 8 people that I definitely would have knocked out. 100% I could have done that. And then all of a sudden, I'm one of the biggest punching flyweights that's come out in this country. And really, I'm the same me now that's going to eventually get to the stage and have to box people because, do you know what I mean? But by pathing your career like that, which I never did, I always wanted the durable ones that no one was stopping. That's why I want, if no one's stopping, I'm not fussed when I'm not stopping them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was my mentality of all the opponents. Pick me the harder one. If I don't stop him, cool. If you're picking me ones that I should be stopping and then I'm not, then we got a bit of a problem. Do you know what I mean? It looks bad. Yeah. But one thing I never cheated myself out of was rounds of experience. So because I weren't chasing the hype and the promotional tool of knocking people out or getting people a lot smaller, like, you know what I mean? Like, just easier fights. I got ring experience that when it come to the time, paid dividends.
that's right.
Where I might not have, where if I had them 8 knockouts, I might have had more promotional hype, more people on me,
Yeah.
My name might be slightly bigger than what it was,
Yeah.
But the experience, I would have cheated myself out.
Yeah.
And then how many times we see a fighter has had it so easy for so long, have to step up, and now they're exposed,
Yeah.
and now they're because
Do you know
the
'cause-
hype. Now they're a villain now.
Yeah,
Teddy Atlas talks about it all the time. I listen to him talk. He talks all the time about these men haven't gone through adversity, so the promoters think they're doing them a favor by giving them all of these men to thump over, but sometimes it's not beneficial because now they're in the real fire. Like
Can't swim.
I think it was what's my man that got thumped over the other day by Gabe Rosado.
That
the bully.
Maliktimov or
Yeah,
whatever.
and Gabe Rosado knocked him out.
The Uzbek.
To see it there, and they were saying that he had been just probably fed too many, and he's come across someone now who, even though his record ain't the greatest, he's been there. He's got experience. He knows.
To be fair though, that kid was only like 7-0 though.
Who?
That kid that he fought, that Gabe Rosado beat, was only.
Yeah, but he
to be
knocked
fair
out.
with
He
these-
knocked out
yeah.
seven. He knocked out seven.
It was a
men.
big jump
Yeah.
up, but in his eyes,
He
he
could-
probably thought Rosado was one of
Washed.
them. But one of them jump ups that we're talking about, he needed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they just. And to be fair, it looked like he was weighing him in a bit.
He was.
Until he got knocked out. You know what I
He
mean?
was. He just had a bit of ring savvy. A bit.
But that's
a
what
bit
happens
of
when
knowledge
you. That's boxing though,
to
isn't
the
it?
experience and
That's
the
boxing, innit?
boxing. So
Yeah.
okay, as we bring things to a close, champ. 2-3 years time, where you seeing yourself?
A few more of these,
Oh right.
definitely.
Coming back with a couple more that we can't even fit
Couple
on
more.
the sofa.
Yeah.
We're going
Couple
for
more.
WBC, WBO.
Couple more briefcases.
Yeah, come on.
You know, maybe one that opens two and there's like two belts in it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
the double,
We're gonna
the,
need that.
the
We're gonna need
duplex.
that. We're
Yeah.
gonna need that.
But
Come on.
I want one of the Ring magazine. I want a shot at that, definitely.
Yeah,
And at the moment, that's Martinez the only way to do that. I'm number 2 in the ring. He's number 1.
yeah.
So
So
that's,
is Martinez in your division the top
yeah,
top brother?
well, yeah, by the ring. So my last fight, I beat the Ring magazine number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So he got cleared off, and then they put me number 2 and put him above me. So
Fucking taking
I've got to
the
do
piss.
it again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't mind that. I don't mind being
we
underdog,
do
and I love that. I love being
I
underdog.
feel like even the kind of person, even sitting down and chatting to you, that will fuel you.
Yeah,
You get
100%.
what I'm saying? Like,
I love
okay,
that.
you
It's
wanna
always,
do that, come, let's fuck
but
that.
with me, it's always been that. Huh?
We need the WBC.
That's the WBC. That's that one. Yeah.
Is that the
That's it. That's
the
WBC. Yeah. My brother's old belt. That's my
Yeah,
brother's
yeah,
old
yeah.
belt.
Get
Bring
that,
it back
gonna
for
go
the
bring
team.
that back for
Yeah,
bring that back for the gang.
Yeah.
You got 2 sons. Say they want to box. What we saying? Yes, no,
They're gonna learn, definitely,
straight in.
because you got to remember, like, they're gonna be quite small. You know what I mean? Let's be real.
So make
And they're
sure
gonna
they
be
got
quite
their hands.
quick-mouthed, most likely. You know what I mean? So at least have quick feet. If boxing can teach you one thing, even if you can't fight, if you go to a gym, you're gonna be able to run for longer than the person chasing you. No, for real. For real.
The future's bright. We'll start wrapping up on that note. The future's bright for the Edwards family. We've got generations and legacies looking
hopefully.
coming up next. God willing.
Hopefully, man.
But yeah, champ, happy to have you here.
Definitely.
Proud of everything that you're doing. No joke. I'm a supporter from early.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying he's up on the party and all that. Stay away from them. Anyway, I know you're settled.
Yeah,
If you're going parties, but you're running afterwards, I'm fucking with that.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
all
there.
of that.
And if you're going to the
Yeah.
No,
party,
how you said you got it patterned is calm. I'm just making sure.
But that's
I'm
that-
all about
and that's the
longevity.
truth.
money still, man.
That's the
We're
truth.
bucking
You don't
money
see me
still.
missing sessions. I don't.
No. I'm just all about the longevity because
Yeah,
we've
of
seen
course.
it. We've seen it.
Yeah.
You've seen it. The champs that, you know, like Ricky Hatton used to blow up in between camps and he was still top tier. But you understand what I'm saying? So you dedicate to the craft. But I know you're about it. We're talking
But there's a difference
longevity.
from being there and participating.
No, yeah, but the champs participating slyly. Come
Yeah,
on, let's keep it real. We the champs just there for fun.
Yeah. I get the energies, but
Not
yeah, I
there
get
for pictures, like-
a little bit of
A
participation.
little participation. No, because Doug loves a party. That's why Doug.
I'll see you in Manny, champ. Don't worry about it. I'll meet you halfway. Yeah, you get me?
But yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Trust me.
Winners Talking podcast. Winners Talking podcast. It's been good. We've had the IBF Flyweight Champion of the world, Sonny Edwards, in the building. Big him up every time. Man, them follow this man's career.
Trust me.
Get to know. Don't be the last to know. Know from early. Innit?
Trust me.
Follow man. Go do your research. Now watch. You'll see. Forget all of that. It ain't always got to be the knockouts. Watch the movement, the slickness, not getting hit. You understand what I'm saying? Them ones that look good, like raw, make a man feel stupid, like a man swinging, you just gliding. You know them one gliding, bam, bam, slipping and ripping. You know, like that.
Ghosting.
Go watch him. You like the style of how the man boxes. Women too. Everyone get involved. He's repping the gang, masculine shit. Yeah?
Trust me, real.
So big up, Sonny. We're out of it. It's another episode. Man, them in the room. Salute. Big
Come
up.
on.
It's the hustler.
Skrrt.
Stat.